Okay, so continue taking up the exam review package. Number 13, you're given a table right here. All right. And you're asked to find the rate of change. What's another name for rate of change? Oh, slope. Okay, yep. So or rise over run, or finding the difference over y over the difference over x. So that's exactly what you want to do. Right? Find the difference in the y. So when you do -3 subtract -6, you get +3. When you subtract 24 from 18, 18 from 24, you get 6. So write it as a fraction. Difference in y over difference in x, you get 1 over 2. Another way you can do this, how many points are you given in this table? How many points? Okay, take a look at the table. How many points are there? 3 points, right? So if I want to use this formula, how many points do I need? 2, right? So I can choose any of these 3 choices. I can rewrite this as coordinates, and then I can use this equation. All right. So remember, even though you're given in a table form, these are just points. These are just coordinates of points. So you can always rewrite it like this, and then just choose any 2 of them. Okay. And then Samuel made $80 for mowing the lawn for 6 hours. If he charged $12 per hour, what is his setup fee? So, setup fee, what are they asking for in y equals mx plus b? The y-intercept, which is the b. Okay. A lot of people had trouble with this question because they were thinking, so do I just divide it and then subtract from the 12? No, you have to set it up as in so 6 hours, $80. So this is like a coordinate 6 comma 80, and then this is your m. So you have your x, you have your y, you have your m, and you're solving for b. Okay, so it's like given the slope and a coordinate, find the y-intercept. So when you do that, you'll get that it's 8. So it's $8 startup fee, and then $12 per hour. Number 15, find the x-intercept, y-intercept. So you are to find the x-intercept, you let y equal 0. To find the y-intercept, you let x equal 0. Okay, so whenever you multiply anything by 0, that's gone. So you're just left with this. So to solve for the x, you multiply the 4 and you divide by the 5. So you get the 60. And similarly, when you find the y-intercept, you let x be 0. Okay, so that's gone. And then you multiply the 2 and divide by the 3. Remember, x and y-intercept, you do not combine it into one point. You have your x-intercept, which is the point on your x-axis, and you have your y-intercept, which is the point on your y-axis. Okay, so they're two separate. You just solve for two separate points. Is the point -2, 3, and 4 on the line? So if you want to find out if it's on the line, substitute it in to the equation and see if left side equals right side. On the exam, remember, you cannot change it to a decimal and cheat. You can use decimals to verify your answer, to check your answer. That's fine. But to get full marks, you do have to use fraction form. So multiply, you get -10 over 12. Subtract 12 over 2. So when you simplify it, you do not get 75. It's way off. Okay, so that means the point is not on the line. Okay, so which quadrant is this point in? So we didn't really talk much about quadrant. I don't think it's on the exam. You guys learned about quadrant in grade 8 though. So just a quick review. If this is your axis, quadrant 1 is the all positive, and you're going in a counterclockwise order. So you're going from this way. So quadrant 1, 2, 3, 4, and so that point right here, it will be in quadrant 2. Right, this is your axis right here. I'll just make it a little bit more obvious. Okay, so quadrant 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. And then so it's in quadrant 2. Write the equation in standard form. So I have, oops, did I not do that here? Oh, I'm missing section. I'm missing that part. Okay. So 15D. 15D. Oh, right here. If I want to change it to oops. If I want to change it to a standard form, right now there's fractions. How do I get rid of all this fraction? Yep.
Multiply the entire thing by the LCM.
Perfect. So what's my LCM here?
4.
4, right? My lowest common multiple is 4. So multiply everything by 4. So 5 times 4 divided by 4, I'm just left with 5x. 3 times 4 divided by 2, I'm left with 6. And then don't forget this 75 also needs to be multiplied by 4. So I get 300. Okay, just like that. That's all it is. You have your equation in standard form with no fractions. Okay. If it was an expression, if it was an expression like this, can I multiply everything through by 4 to get rid of the fraction?
No.
No. You can only do it for equations. Okay, you can do that for equations because you're multiplying both sides by something. It's just like in a weight, you're putting weights on both sides, so it doesn't change anything. But if it was just an expression, if you multiply it through, you have just changed the whole expression. Okay, so you can only do this trick if it's an equation. Okay, 16. I have all this algebra right here. So Oh, yes. Okay. So distribute the 2 in, and then simplify the expression. Anything to the exponent 0 is 1. Okay. So collect the like terms. So the x to the 5 I can combine together, and the x to the 4 by itself, and then the 1 and the 2 together to get that. Okay. And when x is -2, what is the value? So if you see a question like this on the exam, make sure you're not substituting it up here. All right, you just want to simplify it to get the first 2 marks first, and then substitute it in your simplified equation. So like right here to get the last mark. Okay, so when you substitute, make sure you put it in brackets because otherwise you're gonna lose the exponents. You're gonna lose the sign. So here you get -32, and that's why here you get +16. So do the rest on your calculator, you'll get -125. Okay. Don't forget -2 to the power of 5 means -2 times 5 times 5 times 5. Times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. But when it's in brackets, it's -2 times -2 times -2 times -2 times -2. Okay, so that's the difference with brackets and with no brackets. Number 17. So they are shareholders of the company. Today it's worth 1,234,500. So how much do each of them get? So 58% of that means 0.58 times that amount, and you get 716,000. Okay, 13%, same thing. You times it, you get this. Okay. Number 18. You have a skateboard, regularly $198, 20% off, but then you have to add in that 13% tax. So in other words, you're taking off 20, you're adding 13, you're getting a little bit of discount. So like about a 7% discount. So my final answer should be around the 180s. Okay, so just a rough estimate. That's what you want to do while you to check your answer. Okay, so here 20% off means times 0.8. You have that, and then times it by 1.13, adding on the tax, you get about 178.99, which is what we said. It was roughly about 180. So I know my answer is correct. Don't forget, since it's money, 2 decimal places with a dollar sign. So even if the question doesn't say what to round to, because it's money, it's automatic that it should be 2 decimal places. Hey, oh, and then I don't know why, but I have the side notes right here. So fixed expense are like mortgage, rent, car loan. Variables are utilities, entertainment, and food. That's because you can. These are like the ones that are somewhat the same each month, and then these are the ones that are variable, could change, not necessary, not a necessity. All right. Earning more interest. If you deposit more money, you'll earn more interest. If the interest rate is higher, you'll earn more interest. All right. Number 19. Classify if each is linear, nonlinear, and what is the value of B, the initial value. So in this graph, you can see it's linear, obviously, because it's a line. Initial value at 5. This one, it's if you do the first difference between them, okay, it actually goes by 3 by 3 by 3 and by 3 by 3 by 3 on both sides. Okay, and so if you keep going backwards, you'll see that your initial value is 12 and it's linear because it's that. I think one of the questions was asking about direct and partial as well. Um, so you don't need to know this for this exam. It was taken out of the grade 9 curriculum. But what is direct and partial? Anyone know what is a direct variation, partial variation? Yep. Right. Okay. So this is as simple as that. Does it go through the origin? So in this case, does it go through the origin? No. So it's partial. Okay. This one, does it go through the origin? No, it's not 0, 0. So it's also partial. That's all it is. But they decided to take it out of the curriculum. So. Okay. Number 20. I think they moved it to the grade 8 curriculum, but I don't know how if your teachers in grade 8 taught you guys that. Okay, number 20. Allison's walk from home, including direction, time, speed, and time, distance, and speed. Okay, so just like what I talked about on Friday, if you talk about speed, then that already talks about the time and distance. Okay, so does Allison start at home? No. So Allison starts away from home and goes towards home in this first 2 minutes. Okay, I noticed I didn't put in units, so you can make up your own. So let's say first 2 minutes, she ran home. Okay, her speed 300 divided by 2, so 150 meters per minute. Okay, don't forget this triangle, the one that you do in science: distance, speed, and time. Okay, and then once she got home, she picked up her keys. So she took a minute to find her keys. And then now she's really late, so she decided to drive. Okay, so she drove 500 meters in a minute. Okay, and then it was a red light. So. And so that red light took her 3 whole minutes. And then afterwards, she realized that, oh well, I'm late. I'm actually very late, so I'm not gonna make it. So I'm just gonna go home. she she yeah, and then she drove 200 meters in 3 minutes, and because she was driving so super slow, she got pulled over by the cop. You do. She never made it to the highway. Okay. And so that was the end of Allison's story. All right. Okay. Looking at this, which part was she going the fastest? Which part was she going the fastest? A, B, C, D, E, and F. Joshua? C. Well, how do you know? Significant rate of change. Okay, by looking at it. Yeah, the steeper. Like the steeper it is, the faster you're going. Okay. Um. So she stopped here, here, and here. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay. 21. Compare the volume of the cone to a cylinder. What is the relationship? By now, you guys should all know what is the relationship. 1/3. Thank you. But what 1/3? You have to say more specifically. A cylinder is 1/3 of the volume of a cone.
Yeah.
No, a cone is 1/3 of the volume of the cylinder.
Right. What's another way of saying this?
Volume is 3 times.
Right. Okay. So why I'm mentioning both, because EQAO love to trick you with these wordings. Okay. So make sure you know. Okay. And if you get confused, just think in your head the picture of a cylinder and a cone. Which one has more volume? The cylinder one. So the cylinder one should be the 3 times. Okay. Okay, last one on this page. Calculate the volume of a square base pyramid with a base area of 64 and a slanted height of 5 centimeters. So this is a tricky question. So it does help to draw a diagram. Now, when you draw the diagram, since the base is 64, that means I know each of the sides are 8 by 8. Okay, I give you the slanted height as 5, but I don't give you the actual height. And when you don't have the height, what do you have to do? The Pythagorean theorem. I would. That's what you meant, right? Okay. So in the Pythagorean theorem, I know it's been a while since we did volume and surface area. Remember, it's this right angle triangle here in the middle of the air. So if you take a look at this right angle triangle, you're not using 8. Remember, you're using 4, half of the base. Okay, so this is like a multi-step, the multi-step question. Okay, so when you do this, Pythagorean theorem, you'll find that it's 3. So then when you substitute it into the volume formula, you'll get 64 centimeter cube. Okay. Remember volume, cube. Wrong unit, half a mark off. Okay. Okay, so page 3. How many of you have done page 3? Oh, that's it, eh? Okay, so because I didn't assign page 3, I only assigned up to page 2. Okay, so I'll give you guys some time to work on this first, and then we'll take up a few more of this question. Okay. So remember, by tomorrow, you should have all 36 questions completed. Okay, so the rest of the exam review package. So work on this for the next 20 minutes, and then I'll take up some more of these questions.